Hello, Chrishon here of Love Corkscrew. Welcome to Wine Talk, where we uncork the wine to tell the truth. I am so excited to have Sarita Cheaves here from the Swirl Suite. She is here with us, and please tell all the Love Corkscrew fans what's going on, who you are, what's up. Tell them all so they can follow you.
Hey, everybody. My name is Sarita. And yes, I am a part of the Swirl Suite podcast where we talk wine all day, every day. And you may also know me from Viney where I talk food, wine, TV, podcast, podcast producing, all the things. Yeah, so that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Oh,
That's a lot.
very
All things
proud.
wines is a lot.
Yes,
That's a lot.
yes, it is. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it
I
is.
love it. I love it. So I always tell everybody on the show, and I swear to you guys, I swear I do not know what anybody on the show receives. It's like a surprise to me. I'm not the one packing it. So I have no idea what they get from the Love Corkscrew portfolio, possibly the Lampley portfolio. I have no idea. So you got to tell them what you're drinking because I don't even know.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. Come on with
Ready.
it. Come with it.
Okay. I am drinking
Oh,
the
stop.
Concord. Yes. Hard
That
enough life.
one,
Yes.
y'all, that one has such a cult following. It's not even funny.
I get it.
So you get, well, we'll tell them about it because again, where we uncork the wine to tell the truth. So I want you to tell the truth. Tell them what you think about Hard Knock Life. Go for it while I'm drinking.
So Hard Knock Life hits me like from two areas. There's something familiar about it because everybody knows Concord grape, like grape jelly, like grape annihilators, like all these things that remind you of it. But then it seduces you. It's just like, nah, this is not your childhood Concord. This is adult.
Yeah.
This is adult Concord. And yeah, it's very tasty. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's so
funny. It has a following.
It seriously does. And the funny thing is, it's exactly what you said. The Concord grape, especially to the Midwest, East Coast, they know about it. You know, a lot of Californians do not know what Concord is.
Oh,
but I've had people, kid you not, email me that they started crying because their grandmother used to grow Concord grapes in the backyard and it reminded them of their grandmother. Or just, you know, home and their childhood and just fun things that you just made them think about just growing up. So I love that. I love that. I wanted the varietal to stay true to exactly what it's supposed to be. No fluff, just exactly. I always say, when you stick a Concord grape in your mouth, that's exactly what I want Hard Knock Life to taste to. Yeah. Just a little more adult. So it's exactly what I wanted. So I love it. So, you know, it's perfect because it's perfect for this topic. It's hard, right? It's hard out here. It's hard out here for women in this industry. It's hard out here for minorities in this industry. And, you know, sometimes I see articles that are written about us and people are like, enough is enough. We don't want to hear about that anymore. You guys are getting the opportunities and such. But are we? Are we really?
That's a question.
Do we have everything it takes to be taken seriously in this industry and have people not look at our color, not look at who we are, where we come from? I just want your real honest take on where things are now and what do you think is going to happen?
You know, people try to pretend like they don't see who we are, like the color and everything, but I'd rather you address it than to hide behind it. You know what I mean? And are things different? Shit, not for me. Sorry, not for me.
No, be real.
Not for me. I've said this several times. You know, maybe a year or two ago, when everything was very tense and people started to understand what racism for us was really like. We got the emails. You know, we got the write-ups. You know, we got all the fluff. Right. But that's no more. You know. It came and went. So they wanted to tap on to what was hot and then move on. So have things changed? Not really, you know. Not really.
I totally agree with you. And it's interesting. There is a little controversy going around in the industry now about Wine Enthusiast. For those of you out there, Wine Enthusiast is a trade magazine, or the more, I won't say it's a trade magazine, but it's definitely a magazine that people are into in the wine world, as well as the industry looks at Wine Enthusiast as a go-to for, besides Wine Spectator, of course, they look at Wine Enthusiast for the ratings for wines. So the controversy that's happening recently is that they will not rate wines from outside of a certain set region anymore. So to be honest with you guys, pretty much, and I'm being dramatic, but it's pretty much like California or bust, right? If you're not in these certain regions outside of California, if you are in these regions outside of California, I think there's New York, a couple other places in the States, they're not going to rate your wine anymore. That's it. It's a wrap. Now, a lot of minority wines are produced outside of those areas. So herein lies a struggle. I had addressed it, that a lot of times these particular magazines like Wine Spectator and Wine Enthusiast are used to the gatekeepers. So meaning, you guys, when I'm talking about, you have these wines in Costco, in certain big box stores, they use these ratings to judge what wines they're going to take in next. So the thought is, what's happening? What's really happening? Is there an underlying, something to this? Why is that okay? And maybe it is okay. What's your take on that?
When I worked at, because I worked at a winery for about 5 years in Maryland, and I know how hard it was. They were, okay, long story short, I worked at a Maryland winery, and it was I don't want to say the first, because it wasn't the first. It was the first time a major Maryland wine got recognized, like across the globe. And it was a big deal that they were making French style wines in dry styles, Bordeaux blends right here in Maryland. It was a pretty big deal for them. They got a lot of buzz, but they weren't rated because there were no other wineries that were getting that same attention. So that's how it works, y'all. They have to come, it had to be worth the trip for them. I don't know anything outside of that. I really don't know. I don't know how it works, in that world, but all I know, this is what I was told, back then. So if it was hard for, a pretty white winery that was doing really well in a region that wasn't known for wine, imagine how hard it would be for somebody like us to make wine.
And I'm glad you addressed that, because I think a lot of people don't understand what it takes, to produce wines, but B, how there are just a select amount of people that can determine your future in this industry. And it's very hard. And there's so many wines out there, guys, and there's so many great people in the industry, but there's so many people that make beautiful wines that you never will know and never hear about. So it's hard. And it'll be interesting to see if, because Wine Enthusiasts did this, what, again, those gatekeepers are going to do. Are they going to open it up in different categories? It's like, okay, fine, maybe we won't necessarily need your wine rated, but we do want wine still in these particular, regions, these particular areas. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm torn with how I feel about it, but we shall wait and see. Another controversial thing. So I belong to a couple of wine groups on social media, and within a particular group, there tends to be individuals that I will say, for lack of better words, kind of bash the Black industry as far as wine, Black wine, not only negociants, brands, by saying that they're not authentic, and that they don't authentic to their wine knowledge. So, for instance, there'll be statements made of the fact that there's these brands, these Black-owned wine brands that are coming out there, and as they are trying to educate they have no education themselves in wine. They don't know what they're saying. They're misspeaking on topics that they just know nothing about, and they're just promoting wines that are not theirs. And if you look up their colas, they really don't own it. And there's a lot of negativity about this. And I want to address a few things about it. And I'm sorry if you decide you're going to be the controversial. So sorry about that, but tag you're it. So let's talk about this. So I'll tell you my issues, and by all means, correct me if I am wrong. If you have a different perspective, by all means, chime in. I'm the believer of there is enough money in this world for everyone. Mm-hmm. If you work hard, if you're true to yourself, and you have a story, because we all have a story, but if you have a story that makes sense to your brand, whatever you're in, whether it's you're selling yogurt, whether you're a beautician, whatever industry you're in, a service, if you stay true to yourself and you really become not only good at your craft, but a good marketer in your craft, you will succeed. And I will challenge anybody that when I think of the 80s, and a lot of people are young that are going to be watching this show that don't know, like there was a pet rock back in the 70s and 80s. People sold a rock. The rock had a face painted on it. And that was your pet rock. Sold millions of a pet rock. But what was it? Think about the chia pet. For those out there, that's a weed. The chia pet sold like crazy. It was a weed. But why? Because it was great marketing behind it. And they succeeded. Now, what success looks like to me, you, someone else could be a lot different. However, what I do know is they had a monetary success. They made a lot of money in both of those ridiculous things, right? Yet there are, in both categories, when it comes to goods, CPG, customers, product goods, there are some amazing products out there that have never been seen. I usually use the analogy of a mixtape, right? You can have a great singer and they're on that mixtape and they just blowing. They're just blowing, but you never hear them. But then there's someone who can barely sing, but the marketing was amazing and they make it. So I know that's a lot for everyone to unpack, but understand what I'm saying. When I say this all in all, there's room for everyone. There's plenty of money for everyone. And just because someone's journey is different in their experience and learning does not mean they're wrong. And that's where I have a problem with bashing anybody that gets in any industry, because their success is their success or not, or their failure is their failure. Who am I to judge anybody on anything they do? That's my take. What's your take?
Okay, so it's tough because I'm in some of the same groups, and not many people realize that this industry is not only like it's pretty whitewashed and all the things, but within us it can be very cliquey.
Man, preach.
If you don't know if you don't know a certain somebody, or a certain somebody don't know who you are, you don't talk to the right people. You may sit there, your wine is fantastic, but it may sit on the shelves because you don't have the right in. And I hate that it's like that. And
why? Why is it like that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I just think of all the things that we make popular so quick. The Telfar bags. Like there's things that just blow up, that if we did that to each other in the wine industry, not just one brand, not just two brands, but all of us, if we just picked one to focus on a week, everyone would be such a success. And that drives me nuts. Why do we have to do that? Why does it have to be a fraternity? I'm in a sorority, for goodness sake. Why does it have to become a wine fraternity or sorority that you will not get access to so many things if you're not in that group or we're not in that clique? That hurts my feelings.
You know, it's really weird. And the thing is, when I started the Swirl Suite podcast, you know, with my other co-hosts, I had no idea what I was starting. All I knew is this is what I don't see. I don't see me talking about wine. I don't see anybody who looks like me talking about wine on any sort of platform. And this was probably about 10 years ago. So when I started it, I was like, well, why don't we just open it up to guests and just talk to people about wine? Whoever you are, whether you make corks, bottles, wine, start a restaurant. If you have a passion for wine, spirits, food, something, let's just talk to them. And that's kind of how that started. But I'm so happy that it's lasted as long as it did, and we're able to tell everybody's stories, and it doesn't come across cliquish. We just talk to everybody who's passionate about wine.
I love that. I love that. And we probably started around the same time. I'm going on year 10. And when I see comments that are made about, well, these brands don't know what they're talking about, or these so-called wine brands, it's said like that. These so-called brands don't know what they're doing, don't know anything about wine. I've been in this industry. I've owned Love Course for 10 years, been in the wine industry 25 years. I don't know everything about wine.
There's
tons of things I don't know. And that's my point. Nobody knows everything. I never forget, I went to Chalk Hills to do a study with a program I was in, and it had literally the national president of the Sommelier Association there. He said in front of the class, there'll be 99 sommeliers with 100 different answers. Period. Nobody knows everything about wine. And when you think you know a lot, something else is going to come along. Something's going to change. Unless you're a straight up chemist, there's going to be things that you just don't know. And that's okay. That's okay. You should always want to learn. And when you're focused on building, let's talk about the business side for just really quick. And I want to get your perspective on your side. As I'm building a brand, I'm wearing 50 million different hats. Sales, marketing, budgeting, finance, working with distributors as hard as I don't know what. So I literally just entered 15 states. So what I have to do day to day to sell to the big box stores like Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, what I have to do each day, I may know tons about, but someone that's a winemaker may know nothing about. And vice versa. What? So that makes me not legit? That's not fair. How is that fair? How can I do everything? That's why most winemakers aren't also brand owners and also distributed in states nationwide. And, it's like you have to do a lot of things. So why should we put each other down? How about just raise each other up? And one more thing, and I want you to talk, because I'm letting everybody have it right now. Celebrities, these celebrities coming out with wine brands. This is my issue. This is my issue. And I'm gonna say it in a positive light. Wouldn't it be cooler if those celebrities actually backed a negociant or a winemaker that already exists? I would love Love Corkscrew by Beyonce. I would love a collaboration, because what do they have that we don't have? And that is the access to people. That would be amazing if they would collab with us, as opposed to coming out with their own brand. And I will contradict myself. I will say coming out with their own brand and knowing nothing about wine. That's my contradiction, right? I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but understand what I'm saying, how cool that would be. Why don't they just collab with us? Because people do believe us. I've been in this industry 10 years, so somebody believes me. Why can't they do that?
Because it's tough. It's tough because of marketing. Say like your celebrity that has the face, they have the following, they have the marketing already. Just add the wine. It's easier. It's lazy.
Right.
It's easy. It's already there. So if they're backing, they're going to have to be in the background. They don't really know much about wine. They're just going to have to stand back. And that person who actually makes the wine, who does all the hard work, would have to be in the forefront. And they're not the market. that person, that celebrity is. That's probably why they add the
You're
face,
right.
you know, but
And done.
it's tough.
And if
It's
it
tough.
works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? They're still
Right.
celebrities.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can move on to the next thing.
Absolutely.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. All
But
right.
did you
All
hear?
right.
Okay, really quick. Speaking of Beyonce, did you hear what she did on TikTok?
Oh gosh, no. What?
Okay. So I think it was a few days ago, Beyonce created her first TikTok. But here's the thing. She I think she reached out to all of these influencers on TikTok, most of them people of color. And if they used, she handpicked the people that used her latest song in their videos. And her favorites, she just posted a long video, a compilation of all of their videos.
Stop.
And guess what? Tag them all.
That's what I'm
Tag
talking about.
tag them all.
Oh
And the thing
my
is,
God.
they all knew it was coming, but they had to sign the NDA and couldn't say anything. So they knew ahead of time. But
Wow.
all the TikTokers that were tagged was like, I'm so happy. I can talk about it now. Can y'all believe this is happening to me? You know, that kind of thing. But
yeah, I'm sure their followership went up like bananas, didn't it? Bananas.
That is what you do. That is what
like,
you do.
Like, why can't, like, Beyonce or Jay-Z needs to tag Hard Knock Life Concord. Man.
There you go.
And it's things like that, right? It only takes that little just support,
yep.
that little support to just say, you know what, I see you. Even if it's their people of their people of their peoples that see us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just if you tagged us and said, hey, y'all, I haven't tasted that wine, but support these 20 Black-owned wine brands. Man, we would kill it. We would kill it. So what's next? What's next for you?
Oh gosh, what's next for me? I want to produce more stuff. And again, I don't have to be in the spotlight. I want to produce somebody who has an idea about food and wine, who, I don't know, loves to cook, loves to talk about wine, and maybe wants to be a podcaster. I want to produce somebody who's doing something great.
I love it. And there's so many out there to choose from. It's awesome to see just the progression. And I know you know it from 10 years ago till now.
Yeah.
There's so many people talking about wine finally and not being scared to talk about it. What have you seen to be the biggest myth about wine that some of the new wine novices are saying, thinking, something that maybe makes you chuckle a little bit?
I feel like a myth that's being sort of dismantled is you drink red wine with red meat and then white wine with fish or chicken. Like I think that the more of us are starting to really study wine and getting to know wine, and then they're coming to the conclusion that it depends on the body. It depends on how this food is prepared, what seasonings are used, you know, if it's on the grill versus baked, like all of these things come into play when it comes to wine. So that rule is just thrown out the window. I love it.
So thrown. It's this funny time. I remember I went out with a group of people and we were doing a wine tasting, and I knew they were extreme wine novice, and you know, they were just like enjoying the experience. And I watched this one individual take a bite of food, didn't chew it, but then put the wine in their mouth because they thought that was pairing. Like you had to eat it and drink it at the same like wash it down with the wine. I would be like, what are you doing? It's weird. I don't understand what's happening right now. And it's just so funny because I think it's so intimidating sometimes that we don't have common sense. And that's in general with wine. Something that intimidates us and scares us that we're physically scared of, or, oh gosh, I'm gonna do the wrong thing. You just don't use common sense. And to your point, with body, with texture, with flavor profiles, use common sense. So I'll have some people say, now you're a good cook. They're like, I'm a great cook. I'm an excellent cook. I'm like, well, then you know how to pair wine because it's just like a seasoning.
Yeah.
What would you put on your steak? What would you put on your chicken? Think about that. So then when and they were able to spit it out, right? Just like that, what they would do. Well, every characteristic you just named is a varietal. I just want people to have more fun with it, have more fun. What's some interesting people that you've interviewed?
Ooh, Number one, Akimi DeVos, executive director of the Roots Fund. Yeah,
Yes.
she rocked us. We couldn't even talk after she spoke. Let's see. Gosh, so many.
I love
So
it. I
many.
love that there's so many.
Well, we had you on the show.
I remember. I was gonna say, I hope she says me. I'm playing with it.
No, your story is phenomenal. No,
you're
a great show. But our last two episodes are going to be with producers of Psalm TV, and they just released. Yeah, they just released a documentary about champagne, the most expensive bottle of wine to auction. And we talked to two of their producers, so that's going to be really interesting. So
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so happy for you. And again, to be in this industry that doesn't look like us, I'm always with uplifting anyone, anything. If there's anything Love Corkscrew can do for you, by all means, I would love to push everyone to the top. So tell people how to find you on all your social media channels, please.
Yes. So I have two social media channels. You can find me myself at Vine Me Up. I'm Sarita. And you can follow the Swirl Suite podcast at Swirl Suite on everywhere.
I love it. Thank you. And again, Love Corkscrew fans, there's tons of you out there. I got about like 26,000 folks out there. I need you all to follow Sarita. Please follow, support. It would be just amazing for just Love Corkscrew to be able to connect so many. And that's why I do this wine talk, for you guys to see us. I want you guys to see us in this industry. I want you to follow us. I get so many questions all the time of how can I make it in this wine industry? Well, you know what? I'm giving you that ability to get connected to some amazing people. And that's why I do this show. So everybody follow Sarita, please, please, please. Thank you. And thanks for tuning into Wine Talk, where we uncork the wine to tell the truth. Thank you. And no, guys, it's a hard knock life, but y'all can make it. Y'all gonna be all right. I promise. Thank you.